that there is no sound coming out. We had a few more technical difficulties this morning. It just sometimes happens. But we are ready to go. And we're going to begin with our morning blessings on page 73. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasach v'ivena levchin ben yom u'ben laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzalmo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokiach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, abi sharomim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, atir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rakarat al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa li kol tzarki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamichi mitzari gaber. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael bigvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten le'ayef koach. Unir yom b'chol yom, l'chen echas v'rachamim v'nechoenu v'choroenu, v'timlech chasadim tovim, baruch atah Adonai, gomel chasadim tovim, le'amo Yisrael, yirtzomot v'chol Adonai l'hai v'lohei avotai. Do we think we're working now, Susan?
We are.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. We're on pages 77 and 78. Asherim atov chelkenu, maraim goralenu, ma'im farushatenu, asherim nashanaknu mashkimim narivim, eravochev orim pamayim b'chol yom, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad, b'kshem kol malchut le'olam va'ed. Kadesh Yisrael b'akdash shemecha, v'kadesh Yisrael l'mecha, v'shvat chatarim v'tarbiyah karninu, baruch atah Adonai, v'kadesh et shimcha barabim. Right, reading from a little bit of the commentary in the Chumash on Nasa, which we are going to be reading later today, about the various roles of the clans. And this is really just an explanation about this Torah portion and what connects the beginning to the end. This is the longest parsha in the Torah. Most of its first half deals with circumstances when one's place in the community is in question because of unusual behavior. The second half deals with the offerings brought by each tribe as the sanctuary's dedication concludes. And it talks about the word umish martam, guarding, the guard duty, and the idea that this task is sacred because what they are guarding are the holiest objects of the tabernacle. Page 84. Yiratzon l'fnei Adonai Eloheinu v'ohev otenu shetechtem b'toratecha v'nei mitzvot medav Aaron HaKohen ohev shalom v'vnei shalom ohev ha'kavriot u'makarban la'Torah. Psalm for Shabbat, page 87. Mizmor shir li'yom ha'Shabbat tov l'Adonai l'zamer l'shimcha elyon. Tzadikatam bar yifrach ke'erez balanon yizkeh shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu Yenubun beseva deshenim berananim yehu lehagi Ki Ashar Adonai Tzuri Velo Avlatabo. Page 95. Mizmor Shir Chanakat, Habayit David, or Michakil Natani, L'man Yisbecha Chavar V'Leidam, Adonai Elohai Le'olam Odeka. Page 99. Baruch Shemar V'Yaolam. Baruch Oseh Bereshit.
Baruch Omeri Yosef.
Baruch Gozeru Mekayem.
Baruch Merachim al Haaretz.
Baruch Merachem al Habriot.
Baruch Mishalem Sachar Tov L'Real.
Baruch Le'ad V'Kayam L'Netzach.
Baruch Kodem Atzil.
Baruch Shemo. Baruch Tanai L'Mechalam. Yachich Elamim, Melech Mishpach V'Edat Shema Gadol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Melech Mechulal V'Tishpacho. Page 134. Hallelu, 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 hallelujah, hallelu, ebekocho, hallelu, birki ha'uzo, hallelu, bigvirotav, hallelu, kerogudo. Hallelu, 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 beteka shofar, hallelu, beneva vechinor, hallelu, betopu macho, hallelu, beminim veugav, hallelu, 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 betil tzolei shama, hallelu, betil tzolei trua, kol anshama tehaleliyah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Page 143. Nishmat kol chai tevarech et shimcha. Yidbe lach umi yishve lach umi yaroch lach. El agadol gebar v'non alion konei shamayim va'aretz nehalelcha v'neshpecha charferecha v'rechet shem kodshecha kamor l'David bar Chineshi et Adonai v'chok ravai et shem kodsho. Hayel b'tok tzimot uzecha agadol b'kvot shemecha hagibor l'netzach v'narotecha hamelech al yoshev al kisei ram v'nisa. 149, the beginning of the Shachari portion. Shochenad marom v'kadosh shemo v'chatuv ranut tzadikim b'Adonai v'sharim navat tehila v'fi yesharim titpalal uv'divrei tzadikim titbarach uv'ishon chasidim titromam uv'kerev keroshim titkadash ובמקלות רבבות עמך בית ישראל. בני פר שמך מלכנו בכל דור ודור, שכן חברת כל יצורים לפניך אדוני אלוהינו ולאבותינו, להודות, להלל, לשבח, לפאר, לרומם, להדר, לברך, להעלה ולקלס, על כל דברי שירות ותשבחות, דוד בן ישי עבדך, משיחך, ישתבח שמך ליד מלכנו. האל המלך הגדול וגדול מים וארץ, כי לך נא אדוני אלוהינו ולאבותינו, אשר שפכך הלב וזמרה, עוזם של הנצח גדולה, וגברת תהילה ותפארת, קדושה ומלכות, ברכות והודאות, מעתה ועד עולם. ברוך אתה אדוני, המלך גדול בתשבחות, אלא הודאות אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך מלכי העולמים. Skipping to Yotzer Or, page 153. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Mechalam, Yotzer Or v'rechosech, oseh shalom, uvaret hakol. Hakol yotucha, hakol yeshachucha. אין כערכך ואין זולתך, אפס בלתך ומי דומה לך. אין כערכך ואין זולתך, אפס בלתך ומי דומה לך. אין כערכך אדוני אלוהינו בעולם הזה, ואין זולתך מלכנו לחיי העולם הבא. אפס בלתך גואלנו לימות המשיח, ואין דומה לך מושיענו לתחיית המתים. אל אדון על כל המעשים ברוך ומבורך, בפי כל נשמה גולו וטובו, מלא עולם דעת ותבונה סובבים אותו. המתגאה על חיות הקודש ונדר וכבוד, על המרכבה זכות ומישור, לפני כיסו חסד ורחמים, לפני כבודו טובים מאורות, שברא אלוהינו יצרם בדעת בבינה ובהשכל, כוח וגבורה נתן בהם, להיות מושלים בקרב תבל, מלאים זיו ומפיקים נוגה, נאה זיום בכל העולם, שמחים בצאתם וששים בבואם, עושים בהם הרצון קודם, פאר וכבוד נים לשמו, צהלה ורינה לזכר מלכותו, קרא לשמש ויזרח אורה, והתקין צורת הלבנה. שבח נותנים לו כל צבא מרום, תפארת וגדולה, שרפים ואופנים וחיות הקודש. שבת מכל המעשים. 157. תפרח משינה צורך מעשה ידיך ואומר אור שעשית יפרוך הסלע. תפרח צורנו מלכנו וגואלנו בורא קדושים, ישתבח שמך ליד מלכנו. וכולם פותחים את פיהם בקדושה ובתורה, בשירה ובזמרה, מברכים ומשבחים ומעריצים ומרגישים וממליכים את Shem Ha'el HaMelech HaGadol HaGibor VeHaNorah Kadoshu וכולם מקבלים עליהם ומלכות שמיים זה מזה ונותנים רשות זה לזה להקדיש רצון מלכת רוח ושרף ראו מנימה קדושה כולם כאחד עונים ואומרים ביראה קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות בכל הארץ כבודו ופינו אחרת קדוש ברש קדוש מנסים למעט צרפים למעט המשבחים ואומרים ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו וברוך נמו יהינו אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. אור חדש על ציון תאיר, ונזכה כולנו מהרה לאורו. ברוך אתה אדוני, יוצר המאורות. אהבה רבה אהבתנו, אדוני אלוהינו, חמלה גדולה ותרחמת עלינו. אבינו מלכנו, בעבור אבותינו, שבטחו בך, אבינו מלכנו. ותלמדם חוקי חיים, כן תכוננו למדנו, אבינו האב הרחמן, המרחם רחם עלינו. ותן בליבנו להבינו השכיל לשמוע, ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות. ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה, והאר עינינו בתורתך ודבק לבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבינו לאהבה וליראה את שמך, ולא נבוש לעולם ועד, ולא נבוש לעולם ועד, כי בשם קודשך הגדול והנורא בטחנו. נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך, והביאנו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ, ותוליכנו קוממיות לארצנו. כי אל פועל ישועות אתה, ובנו בחרת מכל עמדי לשון, וקרבתנו לשמך הגדול סלע באמת, להודות לך ולייחדך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה, מלך נאמן שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. ודור הוא קיים ושמו קיים, וכיסו נכון ומחותו ואמונתו ליד קיימת, ובריו חיים וקיימים. אמת שאתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, מלכנו מלך אבותינו, גואלנו גואל אבותינו, יוצרנו צור ישועתנו, ודנו מצילנו מעולם שמך, אין אלוהים זולתך, עזרת אבותינו אתה הוא מעולם. מגיעים למשיח, אחרים בכל דור ודור. אתה הוא ראשון. On page 173. Tehilot Leil Elyon Baruch Umvorach Moshe ben Israel chanu shira b'simcha rabah ve'amru chulam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot osei peleh שירה חדשה, שיבחו גאולים לשמך, על שפת הים יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ובדכנו מלך יהודה וישראל, גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל, ברוך אתה אדוני, גל ישראל. Private Amidah, pages 175 to 192. Sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, balam tova uveracha. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, sim, 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 shalom, sim, 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 shalom, sim, sim, shalom ba'olam, tova uveracha. All right, in a moment we will begin the Torah service. Susan Simon is going to be reading the first two aliyot when she gets there. Parsha is Naso. It is on page 791 if you have a Chumash, but any Bible, any Chumash, any translation of the Torah, it's Numbers chapter 4, verse 21. Numbers chapter 4, verse 21. And I'm also going to just mention the Haftorah now too, eventually when we get there. The Haftorah is Judges 13, and it's about Samson, the strong man, and it parallels the Torah portion in that the Torah portion, not the part we read today, but a different part, which we'll read next year, has to do with the Nazirite vows of abstinence of certain kinds, no shaving, no cutting of hair, no drinking wine, a whole bunch of abstinence vows, and other things as well, though Samson is a Nazirite, and so this is his story connected to the Torah portion, which mentions these laws. Anyway, that's the Torah, that's the Haftorah. Torah service. Abbreviated, of course.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you,
Shabbat
Susan.
Shalom. And I would like to dedicate this to Deb Hoffman-Wade, who was going to read Torah for the first time today. She was going to do the first Aliyah, and I know how hard she worked on it. So Deb, thumbs up, Yasher Koach. Page 195 on the Siddur. Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, v'ein k'maasecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch li'olam v'ed, Adonai os li'amoidein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, av harachamim etiva v'rtzoncha et Zion, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, ki v'cha levad batachnu, melech el-ram v'nisa Adon olamim. Vayehi binso Aharon, vayomer Moshe, kuma Adonai, v'yafutzu oivecha, v'yanusu misanecha mipanecha, ki mitzion tetze Torah, ki mitzion tetze Torah, udvar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, li'amo Yisrael v'kdushato. V'lishmei kadisha yakira anaymar tushbechan ye'erava kodamach ditivtach libi bioraita v'tashlin mishalin delibi v'liba dechol amach Yisrael letavu lechayin ve'lishlam. Amen. counting on everybody to sing responsively. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlul Adonai iti, uniromima Shemo yachtav. Lecha Adonai hagedula v'hagivura hatiferet v'hanetzach v'hahod ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz ki chol b'shamayim u'ba'aretz lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'haminaseh lechol rosh romimu romimu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Rabbi, page number again? Do you have it?
I think it's 421. I'm about to find it again.
We're looking.
It's 421 is the verses. 791.
Page 791.
Numbers chapter 4, verse 21.
Sorry, the Torah keeps rolling and Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, Naso et Rosh b'nei Gershon gam heim leveit avotam lemishpachotam mi ben 30 shana v'mala ad ben 50 shana tifkodotam Kol haba litzvot tzava la'avod avodah be'ohel moed Zot avodah mishpechot hagershoni la'avod l'masa thank you. V'nasu et yiriyot hamishkan v'ed ohel moed michsehu u'michseh hatachash asher alav milmala v'et masach petach ohel moed v'et kaleh chatzer v'et masach petach sha'ar chatzer asher lamishkan v'lamizbeach saviv v'et midrehem v'et kol kolei avodatam v'et kol asher v'et kol asher yaseh lahem v'avadu al pi Aharon uvanav tiyeh kol avodat b'nei Gershoni lechol masa'am ulechol avodatam uvkatem aleihem b'mishmeret et kol masa'am Zot avodat mishpechot b'nei Gershoni be'ohel moed umishmartem bi'adi tamar ben Aharon hakohen.
Koach.
Prochtia, thank you for your help. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe l'ifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. So as I'm putting the Torah away, I can actually see all of you and exactly where you sit, which is kind of fun. And Rabbi, how strange it will be, and how wonderfully strange, when we actually have a room full again.
It will be.
Do we have the Haftarah book anywhere, do you know?
I do know where it is, but it's up.
Okay, do you want to punt while I get it?
All right, so we're looking at page 813, Judges chapter 13, verses 2 through 25. The story of Samson, the most famous Nazirite. But this is the story of his birth. It's not the story of him wiping out lions with the jawbone of a donkey, or the whole story with Delilah and the hair and bringing the house down. This is just the birth and his father Manoah and his wife. That's all we get. It is their vows for him to be a Nazirite.
And Rabbi, how many stars?
I think it's either 4 or 5. I mean, it's just so. I think it's 4 because it's not the best part of the Samson story, but it's still a good story.
Not the part we like to hear, huh? ויהי איש אחד מצרה ממשפחת הדני ושמו מנוח ואשתו עקרה ולא ילדה וירא מלאך אדוני אל האישה ויאמר אליה הננה את עקרה ולא ילד והרים וילדת בהם ואתה הישמרי נא ואל תשתי יין ושכר ואל תאכלי כל בת טמא כי היא נחרה ויולדת בן ומרה לא יעלה אל ראשו כי נזיר אלוהים יהיה הנער מן הבטן והוא יחל להושיע את ישראל מיד פלישתים ותבוא האישה ותאמר לאישה לאמור איש האלוהים בא אלי ומראהו כמראה מלאך האלוהים נורא מאוד ולא שאלתיהו מי זהו ואת שמו לא הגיד לי ויאמר לי היא נחרה ויולדת בן ואתה אל תשתי ויין ושכר ואל תאכלי כל טומאה כי נזיר אלוהים יהיה נער מן הבטן עד יום מותו ויתר מנוח אל אדוני ויאמר בי אדוני איש האלוהים אשר שלחת יבוא נא עוד אלינו ויורנו מה נעשה לנער היולד.
Josh Koach.
ברוך תהיה.
Right, before I do the Misha Barak prayer, just because I may forget to do this at the end, I want to wish a Mazel Tov to Eliana Goldstein. This would have been her Bat Mitzvah weekend. It's been postponed until a year or so from now, but I want to wish her a big Mazel Tov, and looking forward to hearing her gorgeous voice once again. And Mazel Tov, of course, to her parents, David and Sharon. a list of those in our community who are ill, thinking especially today of Scott Lawrence, Shoshana bat Shulamit Leah, Dalia bat Razel, Chazan Shlomo Natan ben Nechama, Sima Sarah bat Mariam Chana, Charles Sims, Barbara Rose, Dorothy Hoffman Carlton, Esther bat Heike, Rivka Bluma bat Chava, Tovit bat Sarah, Yehudit bat Shulamit, Tzvi ben Fegela, Linda Doan, Chana bat Cyril, Moshe ben Shlomo HaKohen Babela, Simcha Simantov, Yitzchak ben Rachel, Lou Burrow, Dvorah bat Avraham Basara, Abby Faber, Chana Rivka bat Tova Leah, Marion Marks, Ilana and Mike Favero, Mark Barish, Reuven ben Chana, Arlene Miller, Pastor Karen Stepko. If there are any other names of those you'd like to add to our communal Misha Berach prayer for the sick, please say them out loud at this time. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May God bless and heal those who are sick, and may we continue to be with them in their time of need. Today's sermon for the second week in a row, similar topic, words that are mostly not my own. I sent a message of, I guess, friendship and support would be the right word, to our Congresswoman Barbara Lee, this week. Someone that I don't always agree with on every issue, but who does with anybody on anything, in all honesty? But someone who has been a friend to our congregation, and someone who really is a listener, supportive. I attended her mother's funeral, and so we have an ongoing dialogue. She spoke here. The first congregation, first Jewish synagogue she'd ever spoken at was here several years ago. So I wrote her a message of support, and that's what I do. I try to offer messages of support and comfort to people. I'm more of a comforter than I am a shouter. And this is what she wrote back to me. She said, "Thank you so much for your note and your prayers. I look forward to listening to your sermon tonight," as I gave her the link from last week's sermon, amplifying the voices of Black ministers in our community. The Black community has been under siege for 400 years since the first enslaved Africans were brought to America. The generational trauma, policies, and programs of this government has never been addressed. There is a direct connection to the horror of the past to what we live with every day in America. We'll send you a copy of my Truth, Racial Healing and Transformation Commission, which I'm introducing Thursday. Had a great press call today about it. Please circulate widely. Thank you again, B. Lee. And when your congresswoman asks you to share something with your congregation, it's your patriotic duty to do so. In addition to that, this week's Torah portion, Naso, about the counting of the clans of the B'nai Gershon and the B'nai Merari, translated in various Bibles as the Gershonites and the Merarites, counting them for the duties they are to do in the sacred tabernacle, the Mishkan, the sanctuary, eventually. It's translated as counting, but it literally means lifting up voices. And so continuing what I did last week, trying to lift up the voices of Black Americans who feel like they haven't been counted, which is quite an understatement, whose voices need to be uplifted. And at the request of our Congresswoman, because I want to amplify Black voices over my own at this time, because I want to listen, number one. Number two, because in all honesty, I am still at a loss for what to say going forward. I want to amplify and lift up this voice today, and I'm going to read you her lengthy resolution, and I'll make a few explanatory comments afterward. So this is the resolution that she is going to be proposing to the House of Representatives. Concurrent resolution. Ms. Lee of California submitted the following concurrent resolution. It lists a blank for the date because it has not been set yet. Urging the establishment of a United States Commission on Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation. Whereas the first ship carrying enslaved Africans to what is now known as the United States of America arrived in 1619. Whereas this event over 400 years ago was significant, not only because it ushered in the institution of chattel slavery for African Americans, but also because it facilitated the systematic oppression of all people of color that has been a devastating and insufficiently understood and acknowledged aspect of our history over these past 400 years, and that has left a legacy of this oppression that haunts us to this day. Whereas the institution of American chattel slavery subjugated African Americans for nearly 250 years, fractured our nation, and made a mockery of its founding principle that all men are created equal. Whereas our Constitution failed to end slavery and oppression against African Americans and other people of color, thus embedding in our society the belief in the myth of a hierarchy of human value based on superficial physical characteristics such as skin color and facial features, and resulting in purposeful and persistent racial and gender inequities in education, healthcare, employment, Social Security and veteran benefits, land ownership, financial assistance, food security, wages, voting rights, and the justice system. Whereas these oppressions denied opportunity and mobility to African Americans and other people of color within the United States, resulting in stolen labor worth billions of dollars while ultimately forestalling landmark contributions that African Americans and other people of color would make in science, arts, commerce, and public service. Whereas Reconstruction represented a significant but constrained moment of advances for Black rights as epitomized by the Freedmen's Bureau, which negotiated labor contracts for ex-enslaved people but failed to secure them their own land. Whereas the brutal overthrow of Reconstruction failed all Americans by failing to ensure the safety and security of African Americans, and by emboldening states and municipalities in both the North and the South to enact numerous laws and policies to stymie the socioeconomic mobility and political voice of freed Blacks, thus maintaining their subservience to whites. Whereas Reconstruction, the civil rights movement, and other efforts to redress the grievances of marginalized people were sabotaged both intentionally and unintentionally by those in power, thus rendering the accomplishments of these efforts transitory and unsustainable, and further embedding the racial hierarchy in our society. Whereas examples of government actions directed against populations of color include the creation of the Federal Housing Administration, which adopted specific policies designed to incentivize residential segregation. The enactment of legislation creating the Social Security program, for which most African Americans were purposely rendered ineligible during its first 2 decades. 3, the GI Bill, which left administration of its programs to the states, thus enabling blatant discrimination against African American GIs. 4, the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938, which allowed labor unions to discriminate based on race. 5, subprime lending aimed purposely at families of color. 6, disenfranchisement of Native Americans who until 1924 were denied citizenship on land they had occupied for millennia. 7, federal Indian boarding school policy during the 19th and 20th centuries, the purpose of which was to civilize Native children through methods intended to eradicate Native cultures, traditions, and languages. 8, land policies toward Indian tribes, such as the allotment policy, which caused the loss of over 90 million acres of tribal lands, 2/3 of which were guaranteed to tribes by treaties and other federal laws, and similar unjustified land grabs from tribes that occurred regionally throughout the late 1800s into the termination era in the 1950s and 1960s. 9, the involuntary removal of Mexicans and United States citizens of Mexican descent through large-scale discriminatory deportation programs in the 1930s and 1950s. 10, the United States annexation of Puerto Rico, which made Puerto Rican citizens of the United States without affording them voting rights. 11, racial discrimination against Latino Americans, which has forced them to fight continuously for equal access to employment, housing, health, financial services, and education. 12, the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, which effectively halted immigration from China and barred Chinese immigrants from becoming citizens of the United States, and which was the first instance of xenophobic legislation signed into law specifically targeting a specific group of people based on ethnicity. 13, The treatment of Japanese Americans, despite no evidence of disloyalty, as suspect and traitorous in the very country they helped to build, leading most notably to the mass internment of Japanese Americans beginning in 1942. Number 14, the conspiracy to overthrow the Kingdom of Hawaii and annex the land of the Kingdom of Hawaii without the consent or compensation to the native Hawaiian people. Number 15, the United States history of colonialism in the Pacific, which has resulted in economic, health, and educational disparities, among other iniquities, for people in the U.S. territories, as well as independent nations with which it has treaty obligations. Whereas these governmental actions, among other government policies that have had racially disparate impacts, have disproportionately barred African Americans and other people of color from building wealth, thus limiting potential capital and exacerbating the racial wealth gap. Whereas research has shown that this persistent wealth gap has had a significant negative impact on other racial disparities, such as the achievement gap, school dropout rates, income gaps, home ownership rates, health outcome disparities, and incarceration rates. Whereas American civic leaders and foundations have spearheaded critical efforts to advance racial healing, understanding, and transformation within the United States, recognizing that it is in our collective national interest to urgently address the unhealed, entrenched divisions that will severely undermine our democracy if they are allowed to continue to exist. Whereas many of the most far-reaching victories for racial healing in the United States have been greatly enhanced by the involvement, support, and dedication of individuals from any and all racial groups, whereas at the same time, much of the progress toward racial healing and racial equity in the United States has been limited or reversed by our failure to address the root cause of racism, the belief in the myth of a hierarchy of human value based on superficial physical characteristics such as skin color and facial features, whereas the American institution of slavery, as well as other examples enumerated in this resolution, represents intentional and blatant violations of every American's most basic right to a free and decent life, whereas the consequences of these oppressions have cascaded for centuries across generations beyond the era of active enslavement, imperiling for descendants of slaves and other targets of oppression what should have otherwise been every American's right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Whereas more than 40 countries have reckoned with historical injustice and its aftermath through forming truth and reconciliation commissions to move toward restorative justice to return dignity to its citizens, whereas contemporary social science, medical science, and the rapidly expanding use of artificial intelligence and social media reveal the costs and potential threats to our democracy if we continue to allow unhealed, entrenched divisions to be ignored and exploited. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives that the Congress confirms on the 400th anniversary of the arrival of the first slave ship, the United States' long overdue debt of remembrance to not only those who lived through the egregious injustices enumerated above, but also to their descendants, and proposes a United States Commission on Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation to properly acknowledge, memorialize, and be a catalyst for progress toward jettisoning the belief in a hierarchy of human value, embracing our common humanity, and permanently eliminating persistent racial inequities. It's very long. It's painful. I'm sure that if you're listening, it's for sure uncomfortable. You may disagree with many of its tenets, but right now, our duty is to listen to prominent Black voices, and to try to understand what they're saying and why they're saying it. A few comments. It's very much a cry, right? It's a shout of protest, but not in the streets, which is what we have now. But eventually, the present protest will die down. The shouting in the streets will end, short of a full-scale revolution, which I know that some people want, but I believe the dust will settle. The dust of the present will settle, and what we'll be left with is how we confront the past and how we move forward into the future. And the past involves listening to the African American story, the way African Americans see it. For example, when they see a Black man being killed at the hands of police, no matter what the extenuating circumstances may be, they see a direct line to 400 years of lynching and slavery. The same way when I see a mob shouting anything close to anti-Semitism, and sometimes just shouting in giant numbers, I see 2,000 years of pogroms. And so we have to understand the psychology that motivates that. And that statement that Congresswoman Lee brings forward is very much about nationally confronting and accepting that as part of the past of our country. I might also want to suggest a paragraph about Jews being turned away when they needed it most during the pogroms, or perhaps with the SS the St. Louis, where the Jews were sent back to Nazi Germany. But this is not about us. This statement is primarily, it does list other groups, which is why the only reason I mention that, but it's primarily about the black experience in America. So that's the past, confronting it and understanding it and accepting it. But the future involves public policy, which is not as dramatic as protesting in the streets or even electronically. It's tedious, it's contentious, it's difficult work, but ultimately that is what has to be done. Now, I did ask some other people, other black Americans, for their reactions to this, and one leader in the business community said, it's platitudes, and what is honestly needed is money, serious investment in black businesses. I'm all about that. I know that some of the protesters want to see our capitalist system destroyed in the United States. I'm certainly not one of them. I just want black Americans and all Americans to be able to participate fully and the barriers to be removed. This business leader, we talked about the idea that what is needed is sort of a Hebrew free loan society for black Americans that's bigger, so that instead of it being almost impossible to start a business, it's very easy to start a business, that there's a safety net if that business fails. There actually is an organization in Oakland dedicated to that very purpose. It's called So Oakland, and is worthy of your attention. The work is not going to be easy. The risks are different than being in a protest. The risks I mentioned are tedious and contentious, and they take time. I don't have much else to say. I don't have answers. I only bring forth the questions and the past, again, at the request of our Congresswoman. Agree or disagree, she is our elected representative, and her words need to be spread into our community. So I want to conclude, going back to the theme of Naso, the idea of lifting and counting, with the words of a song that is often called the Black National Anthem. It is called Lift Every Voice and Sing. It was written as a poem by James Weldon Johnson upon the celebration of the birthday of Abraham Lincoln, long after he had died, and set to music by his brother, John Rosamond Johnson. And in these words, you can see both the pain of the past, the hope of the future, the blood, but also the connection to God. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let a rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat, have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed? We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou hast brought us thus far on the way. Thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path, we pray. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. Shabbat Shalom.
Yashikala.
All right, we will start to begin the concluding parts of the service. Since, well, we have first a Musaf Amidah, but you can get your Ein Kelohenu candies ready. Many of you got them delivered to your houses this week. If you haven't, don't worry, they're coming next week. There was a little delay due to an injury. But everybody's fine. The injury was mine, but I'm fine, getting better. So in any case, we will get that ready as we recite the Amidah to ourselves. It's page 241, I believe. 241. Ose shalom bimrom avuya, ase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. All right, Ein Kelohenu time. Page 261. Ein Kelohenu, Ein Karonenu, Ein Kemalkenu, Ein Kemoshienu, Mi Kelohenu, Mi Karonenu, Mi Kemalkenu, Mi Kemoshienu, Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Emalkenu, Nodel Moshienu, Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu, Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shektiru Avotenu, Lefanecha Eketoret Hasamim. We rise for the Aleinu, page 263. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula leotzer reshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem vegor aleinu kechol amonam, anachnu korim, umishpachadrim umodim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shemayim ve'yosed haaretz, u'Moshe v'yekaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinat uzo begobe v'romim, Hu Eloheinu Eino, Emet Malkeinu et Bezulato, ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשב אותה אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים השמיים ממעל והארץ מתחת אינו ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. On this Shabbat, we lovingly recall those whose yortzeits, the anniversary of their deaths, fall during the coming week in our congregation. We're thinking especially today of Lee Aronson, Ray Bain, Ida Nathan Barnett, Diana Bereskin, Kathy Biglovsky, Coleman Bloomfield, Paya Blumenkrantz, Nathan Brody, Robert Davis, Jenny Epstein, Anne Frankel, Jack Gerber, Vivian Glick, Minnie Goldstein, Kenneth Gordon, Albert Gould, Hyman Gurman, Harry Henkin, Bernice Hanno, Cy Harris, Lena Kobitskaya, Raymond Mogul, Fanny Nagar, Sophie Podolsky, Harry Reingold, Anna Riskin, Martin Rockmaker, David Rosenzweig, Leo Sellinger, Sidney Schaefer, Lippy Streifer, Morris Unterberger, Morris Weiss, Joseph White, David Yaron. Memories of all who are with us. We ask all those who are in mourning or observing yortzeit, as well as anyone else who would choose to do so, to join with me in the Mourner's Kaddish. Page 267. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divrach Yerutei v'amlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayedechol Beit Yisrael b'galach v'izman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam l'amei omaya Yitbarach, Vishtabach, Vitba'ar, Vitromam, Vitnaseh, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitalal, Shemedikucha, Barechu, La'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran, V'yalma, V'imru.
Amen.
Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, V'chaim, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru.
Amen.
Osei Shalom B'imroma, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru. Amen. Zichronam Livracha, may the memory of the people you're thinking of be a blessing to you always. And let us say, Amen. Some announcements. Tonight we will stream Havdalah from my home at 9 p.m. Tomorrow, I think it's at 10 a.m., maybe is the annual meeting, available by Zoom. There will be Minyan Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m., led by John Golding. Mazel tov once again to Eliana Goldstein and her family. And next week, Oscar Mendelson will be celebrating his bar mitzvah via Zoom after our regular service here. So mazel tov to them as well. I think that is it. There's, for some of you, if you're watching, if you're a member of the congregation, there is a Zoom Oneg. You can talk to people via Zoom immediately following the service. The closing song today, I'm going to do Hatikva, the hope. Kolod baleva penima, nefesh Yehudi homiya, ulfate mizrach kadima, ayin letzion Sophia. O no avda tikvateinu, hatikva bat shnot alpayim, liotam chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim, liotam chofshi be'artzeinu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Yasher Koach.